Well, if you saw some of that performance before, you know I'm hanging out with my man, Les DeMerle, who is, man, you are just Amelia Island Jazz Festival. That's what we're here to talk about, but you are just jazz upon jazz upon jazz, brother. So, always good to hang out with you. And we're hanging out in Hallowed Space where he does practice and he does lessons and he stores a lot of stuff. You got a lot of gear, bro.
There's a lot of gear here. Yeah.
You got a tech who's helping you load it up.
We got 4 drum sets in the studio right here.
Yeah, I DJ, so I get what you deal with. Man. So it's just always last one in, last one out. But man, Amelia Island Jazz Festival.
Yes.
I mean, we talk every year, and I think I've been with you probably about 7 since I've been in town. So, but this is 21 years, right?
21 years.
I mean, 21 years, and it's a passion project.
It is.
So, Amelia Island, just break it down. I mean, people know, but just let's get it to them.
Okay. Well, we started at Rance, to keep jazz alive on Amelia Island. Myself, as you know, being from New York, I got into the business very, very young with Lionel Hampton and all the great jazz players. And was able to follow Buddy Rich, one of they call him the world's greatest drummer as far as technique is concerned, with the Harry James Band. And when we moved here, Bonnie and I, to open the Ritz-Carlton, after 10 years in the Ritz, the 9/11 happened, and then the budgets got cut. So we decided to live here in this house. We had bought this home, and then start the Jazz Festival. That was 21 years ago. So we're a not-for-profit, as you know, that give away scholarships every year to high school musicians to study jazz in college.
So let's talk about that aspect of things. So I joke with Les because he's always promoting jazz and always committed to the kids. And I know you say about keeping alive for Amelia Island, but you spread this kind of energy all around.
Oh, sure, absolutely, Rance. Yeah, I mean we're ambassadors for jazz. It's what we do, and no matter where we perform all over the world, and we do, we always promote the music, of course, the history of the music, and our mission to keep a jazz festival going here on Amelia Island, And the cool thing is, as you know, we bring in the world's greatest musicians for that week. It's a full week of jazz. And every year, I try to book acts that are going to raise the bar from year to year. And this year, we're so excited. We have Grace Kelly, a very young saxophone player, hot as a pistol. And she's a saxophonist, alto saxophone mostly, but she plays tenor and baritone sax. She's also a great singer, and she's an entertainer who simultaneously dances while she's playing.
What?
And I mean, she's crazy. I mean, she's playing bebop. She studied with Phil Woods and playing like now that intensity of a bebop line, she's got it choreographed spontaneously with her feet, and she's all over the place. I mean, and you got to check her out. She's unbelievable.
Well, I'm gonna see her.
Yeah.
So I always talk about drummers. I'm like, there's so many moving body parts. You got and let's sing. So I'm like, so I'm trying to imagine the saxophonist who has to do all of this and then's coordinating it, and she's singing too.
Well, she's singing sometimes and dancing, but mostly the dancing is while she's actually blowing the horn.
Okay.
And she's doing funk things and Latin and choreographs her moves to what she's playing. But if you just heard her play without knowing, if you're just standing there, she's playing some incredible things. Now to see her visually do that, it's just unreal. And also all through the years, and there's a lot of say the smooth jazz players out there like Dave Cause and Mindy Abair, who we've had here, and so many others. They move and play, and the choreographed horn licks and things like that. But what Grace does is spontaneously. That's the key word, spontaneously. As she's improvising, she's choreographing on the spot. She's not rehearsed. It's like
real jazz because you guys are doing a lot of improv in your music.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's improvising. What you see is only going to happen for that performance, you know.
I would like it.
And it's so much energy, man. I mean, the energy just pops off that stage with her, you know.
So that's Friday night, Ted.
Friday night, yeah. That's
okay, and then Saturday, who we got?
Saturday is Marsha Ball.
Okay.
You know, Marsha Ball is another serious young lady. Not that young, but she's, this, by the way, is the year of the ladies.
I was about to say.
Yeah, man.
There's a reason we talk about that. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, you got Bonnie in the mix, my wife, Bonnie Eisele. But Marsha Ball is a great Texas style, kind of like rhythm and blues, almost boogie woogie-ish pianist. Real stride piano, plays full piano, two hands. I mean, boogie happening in blues lines in the left hand. Simultaneously, she's improvising and playing chords with the right hand, and she's singing on top of that. And she's funky, you know. She plays the New Orleans Jazz Festival every year to 20,000 people.
Nice.
She's the first recipient of the Austin City Limits Hall of Fame. So she's got the Lifetime Achievement Award from Austin City Limits.
Nice.
She's been on that show many, many times. And both Grace Kelly and Marsha Ball Rance are coming in with their bands. So my band, as you know, I'm going to have my band with Mike Levine, Doc Candy's on percussion, Dennis Marks, and I've got horns on Saturday night with Matt Vance and Bonjour Parsons and Don Zentz. Those are my guys this year. And of course, Bonnie will be on the shows. But the headlining acts will do their own hour-and-a-half show with their full bands.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be completely different because typically you come on, you guys kind of warm everybody up, and then you bring in the headliner, and you guys are backing him, you know, and still, but I mean, they're bringing that, and I mean, I've seen them bring in their like music director and stuff, but you guys are still, so are you going to be able to handle that? Because I know you like to be in the mix. This is one of those where you're like, oh, I actually get to sit back and be a fan?
Yeah, no, and, you know, we've done that, like, say, with the Manhattan Transfer. You were with us last year, of course, emceeing that show, which you do a fabulous job on every year.
Thank you.
So appreciate you being there. And Rance is part of the Jazz Festival family. I mean, he's like one of the cats. You know, he's one of the cats.
I make sure I book it out. I'm like, this weekend I know what we're doing. Now let's pivot to why it is the Festival of the Ladies. Your scholarship recipient this year.
Oh yeah, Ayana Nelson, man. She's amazing too. She's another double package because she's equally as good a singer as she is an upright bass player. And you know, she's a young lady out of Douglas Anderson School of the Arts who's just amazing. She played with our big band, and we gave her the award at our scholarship banquet that we do with the Big Band Bash last February. And she gets a big sound, like in jazz. The Papa Daddy is a guy named Ray Brown, who played with Oscar Peterson. He gets that boom boom boom, boom, bang, boom, and those notes just resonate. You know, you feel it in your belly when they're playing. You know? And Ayana picked up that bass and boom, boom, boom. I said, oh my God! And she's like so young, you know, she's 18, but she's an old soul, man. I mean, you know, she's got so much history of the music, and she can talk to you about the early days of Duke Ellington's band with a bass player named Jimmy Blanton, and go to Jaco Pastorius with Weather Report, to Marcus Miller, one of the great funk players, to Earth, Wind & Fire, whatever. So she's got the whole history of the jazz bass down, you know.
So what does it mean for you to know that these youngsters are coming up behind you and actually respecting their elders, and they know the history? Because, I mean, in certain music genres, people jump in and this is our style, and it's like, oh, well, so-and-so was, you know, kind of a forefather, like, oop. But I mean, you got your kids coming up, and they know the genre. Because, like I said, as long as I've been with you, everybody I've talked to, all your scholarship recipients are so knowledgeable, and all of them have gone on to do some amazing things, or all have gone on and are doing amazing things. Like one that sticks out for me, just because he was one of the first, was Skylar.
Yes,
like Skylar was this young kid, and he was like here. Then he went to Cali. Then he's in New York. I don't even know where he is now, but I mean, you give this opportunity for these youngsters to experience this, and they take it and run with it. They don't take it for granted. From what I can tell.
They do. They take the ball and they run with it. Yeah, that's right, Rance. Yeah, and we're so proud of them, because I mean, I'll open up Downbeat magazine, which is like the musician's Bible, and I'll see, oh, there's Giovanni Martinez. He's last year's scholarship winner, and he's playing at the Blue Note this week in New York. Opening for like Wynton Marsalis. Look at that. Only 1 year ago he was here.
Yeah.
And but see, these young people, they're already very dedicated long before they even come into our world, And that's why when I hear them and Bonnie hears them, and you can tell that they've got this whole history in their playing, even though they're playing very modern, they're not doing the old tunes, the standards. They're doing original tunes. They're doing what they're writing themselves. They're doing tunes by say Snarky Puppy, the tunes of their generation. But you can still hear Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, Thelonious Monk, Billie Holiday in vocals. You'll hear that they know the history. They're just doing it their way, And it's so cool, because we learn from them, and they learn a little bit from us,
They learn a lot of it.
And then when we get to jam with them, like this year we're going to be over at Mokama, following the headlining shows at the Spring Hill Suites from 10 p.m. to midnight. Ayana and her band, her full band, will be hosting the jam.
Oh, she's bringing her band.
Yeah, she's bringing
This
her
is
band.
everybody's. They're like,
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
But if but still musicians are going to be filling in, like some of the pros.
Yeah. We'll all trickle in after the big shows, But she'll get the pots going on the stove there, They'll be cooking by the time we walk through that door, man.
Well, I mean, and so when I talk about like Les does lessons and stuff, you have also made it a mission to go into local schools, and teach drum and music there whenever the opportunity presents itself.
Yes.
So you really are trying to make sure that youngsters have some presence of what jazz is.
Yeah.
That gives you a lot of fulfillment, huh?
Oh, big time. Well, the key word for me is rhythm, I mean, when I was a little kid, I would take knives and forks and start banging on things. And when I go into the schools today, right after our session, I have 22 kids. I'm teaching the basics of drumming, fourth graders. So, they'll start with rudiments like the paradiddle, but instead of the paradiddle just being, I don't want to get too technical here, but like right, left, right, left, left, I'll teach them that you can do that by two different sounds. Like if I take your leg, I got, you see?
Yeah.
So where I'm putting that accent, you have a different pitch.
Yeah.
And that now it's a group.
Yeah.
It's not just a rudiment, It's like taking the scales on the piano and going ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, how about if you go ba-da-da, ba-da-da-ba-ba, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. You see, just changing it rhythmically a little bit, it opens up, wow, you can do that with music? It's new to them. And that's cool, And that's that rhythmic thing gets a groove.
Yeah.
And once you're in the groove, man, life is sweet, man. If you know how to get in the groove, And everybody's got a groove. You all just don't know it, but you all have a groove. Everybody's got a groove, whether it be the hippest groove, maybe not be, but everybody's got their own thing, whether they know music or not. There's a tempo to our lives.
Yeah, I appreciate that from an educational standpoint, because a lot of times what kids are learning today, it's very on this straight line. You're giving them some freedom of expression.
Exactly.
Having them have the opportunity to think for themselves.
Express themselves.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so we mentioned it's a week. We ran through the headliners. What else is going on through the week for Amelia Island Jazz Festival?
Well, it's going to start, this is so cool, Rance. We start with a free community concert on September 29th at the Rec Center here from 12 noon to 2 p.m. The University of North Florida Jazz Ensemble 2, directed by Dennis Marks, comes up with their full band, and we've already been to the school and heard them, and they're fabulous this year. We're also going to do some Count Basie tunes with them that we rehearsed already. So Bonnie and I will jump up there with them, and toward the end of their set, I'm doing Every Day I Have the Blues by Joe Williams.
Oh, nice.
And it's really, and again, the young groups, the young players in that band just get into it like, okay, now this is going to be that kind of style, it's real swinging hard, So we hope that everybody will come out for that 12 to 2 session. The next night, we're over at the Spring Hill Suites with our sponsor party. And we're going to feature a vibraphonist this year around, something a little different. A guy from Jacksonville named Bill Kane is coming up as my guest. I'll have Bill Prince with me, Doug Matthews, Bonnie, and all the sponsors get thanked, and we talk about how important they are to keep the festival going, you know. And then the very next night, we do our jazz and wine at the Decanery, and I put a 2-horn band together this year for that called the Jazz Sept. This is the first time that we're going to be debuting this group, you know, and it features Ajax McDonald on tenor saxophone and Paul Tafoya on trumpet, Doug Matthews, myself, and Bon. And with that music is going to be pairing the sounds of jazz to the wine that the people are experiencing.
Oh, nice.
You know?
That's cool.
Yeah, so, you know, you have a wine from Spain, the origin, so we might play Chick Corea's tune Spain or something that'll complement that taste. So when you have the taste, the band goes into that composition, and oh yeah, that does complement the taste, the sound and the taste, you know.
This is where we say, please drink responsibly and Uber if you need to.
Yeah.
I've been to some wine tastings. All right, so that's a wine tasting. What else we got?
And then the very next night, we go back to Spring Hill Suites, and we have our Jump Driving Wheel swing night with my 4-horn band. And that's going to be a dance night. So we have the dance floor out there, full big dance floor for the dancers. We had a lot of ballroom dancers that come to these, or swing dancers, you know. And I've got my 4-horn band. Let me see, I have, that night I have Ajax again on saxophone. I have Jim Meldon on trumpet. Clarence Hines, great trombone player, he's headed the brass department at UNF. And Don Sense on saxophones. And then that is going to be Doug Matthews, and Ricky Ravello is rejoining us on bass for that one show. Great bass player, and Bonnie. Then the next night, Tony Cruz and the Latin Jazz Legends are in the same room with the dance floor down, and there's going to be Latin night, salsa night, a real hot Latin salsa band. You know, they play from Miami up to Jacksonville and beyond, you know. Then the very next night, Grace Kelly flies into town, and she's going to be the headliner. We'll open up with her with a quartet with Doc Candy on percussion, and Grace will do her incredible show with her band, followed by the Mokama Jam Sessions, headed by Ayanna Nelson, our scholarship winner. Then the next night, Marsha Ball flies into town. We open for her. She does her 1.5-hour show with a great band. Real fun stuff too. She has a tune on YouTube called Can't Get Enough of That Stuff. If you put that on, you don't start dancing around your living room, man. Something wrong with you. You know what I mean? She's got that whole, you know, that New Orleans kind of, the whole room is just going to do that, man. Just vibrate and have a party. You know?
Love it.
And then following her shows, again, we run over there to Mokama and we party till 12 o'clock with Ayanna Nelson. The very next day, Longinu Parson comes into town, and Longinu is going to be featured with us at the 2 jazz brunches, 10:30 in the morning and 1 o'clock at the Spring Hill Suites. And that's called the Spare Rib 6. I always call that the Spare Rib 6. Yeah.
There's nothing spare about that. Let me tell you, there's nothing spare about that brunch meal. I eat good, and then it's like, I mean, the music keeps me awake, but then that drive home the whole time, I'm like, food coma. So people, they want to get in early. Man, that is a full week.
That's a full week,
man.
yes.
All right, so if people want tickets, so the tickets are for the mainland, right?
The tickets for the whole festival, except for the free events, of course, you know. But everything is at Amelia Island Jazz Festival.com. And there's also a jazz pass. So I think that's what you meant. In other words, you can get one ticket that covers you for every event.
Yeah.
But you know, if you want to get the VIP level and the meet and greet with the artist, that's a different kind of a ticket. That's a VIP ticket. But it's all outlined very clearly, Rance, online.
So, you know, anything that features my second favorite F word free, I'm about. But this ticket is worth it because, I mean, the music is infectious. The people here are infectious. It's such a great energy. And Amelia Island always comes together, supports their own. So, man, kudos for what you do with the kids and for Amelia Island. And I mean, I'm looking forward to another great week. And we're going to end it here, but in an upcoming week, I'm going to do a deep dive history on Les and Bonnie, because when it comes to musical hit, if you caught a third of the names he just dropped, you're gonna want to learn more. He probably got stories that we can't put on air. But Les, man, I look forward to hanging with you and the missus,
so
my uncle, my aunt. So come out, support your locals, people, especially when it's all about the kids.